Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy68 here today giving you week 3 of NPL Season 9. This week we are facing Adam, coach of the Houston Solrockets, username the Bee's Knees. Known him for a couple years now, he's definitely been getting better. Definitely an opponent to watch out for this season, especially since he is in my conference. So, with that said, let's talk about his team. He's got Mega Kang, he's got Tapu Fini, Infernape, Nidoqueen, Shaman, Sneasel, Bronzong, Lycanroc's Dusk form, Noivern, Diggersby, and Oricorio all forms, so you can have Flying type plus whatever. So, looking at his team, Infernape can be pretty scary overall in terms of Z. You know, it's pretty variable about being physical versus a special. And I do have Slowbro ultimately to be able to handle that, so should I choose. Mega Kang can be super bulky, and I'm predicting he is going to bring a bulky one there. Tapu Fini is kind of an all-purpose mon that he should be able to bring. I don't know necessarily what it's going to be. It could also have a pretty variable moveset. Nidoqueen is scary because its move pool is pretty diverse, and actually Miss Magius handles it pretty well, handles its dual stab pretty well amongst other things, so I do think Miss Mag's going to be great against handling that. Sneasel is an overall threat, so is Diggersby in terms of just these physical powerhouses that I'm a little bit worried about. Noivern, moderately special threat that I could be worried about if need be. And then Shaman and Bronzong, both bulky guys that I'll have to watch out for. So let's talk about what team I ultimately do bring. I bring Escav because I want to take hits from both sides, and it's a pretty standard moveset. I do have Poison Jab over Knockoff to be able to handle Tapu. Then I have Mega Camel, which overall I give more physical defense to, because I just want to take, some more physical hits like from Sneasel, for example, maybe even Bronzong, even Lycanroc. Those were kind of my examples that I wanted to have that bulk for to be able to last. It has this, it has the opposite of a lot of syndromes that Pokemon have, where usually dual stab plus rocks is all it can really have to offer. Amnesia theoretically could be helpful should I be in a situation where I can set up that special hit, special boost, special defense boost, and be able to take a couple hits on the special side if need be. But we'll see. In terms of PZ, it's max attack, modest, pretty fast. I know it's meant to outspeed most Tapus, I think. And I do ultimately have Ghost Team Z because I want to be able to hit the Bronzong as hard as possible. Miss Mag, I have been Assault Vest because that thing can absolutely counter Nidoqueen in terms of that. Earth Power does nothing, Sludge Wave resists. Everything else is non-stab, so it's going to be able to take a hit. Then I got Slowbro, which, okay, I do have Slowbro. I think, I didn't remember if I had it. But yeah, an interesting set. I just have, I have Scald plus a coverage move being Fire Blast. Fire Blast to hit Shaman, Sneasel, Bronzong. Yeah, does decent there. I think it was primarily to hit Sneasel. And then, that way can take a knockoff with the Culver Berry as well. Then we got Mandy. Mixed defenses to be able to take a hit really from anything he has to offer. So that's kind of the idea there. Yeah, barring, some super effective stuff, some stuff can be scary. But let's talk about this battle. So here's what he ends up bringing. He brings Mega Kang, Tapu Fini, Nidoqueen, Infernape, Oricorio, and Shaman. So what I'm thinking turn 1 is I want to be able to, take a hit from something. Infernape and Nidoqueen, are potential rockers. We also have to think what is just really good against my team. And so with that in mind, we got the sound on, LOL. So we have, so he brings in, here's the thing, he brings in Tapu Fini, and immediately I'm like, oh my god, I don't have anything for Tapu Fini. And this would be great if I had a mock battle and I realized how much of a threat this thing really could be, but yeah, I didn't really think about that until a couple turns in here where I'm like, oh, Mandy's going to be able to live anything. Let's just get a knockoff off and, see what happens. And that's what I do. I'm able to get off his lefties, and that doesn't necessarily tell a lot, but, I can get off his recovery, which is nice, especially figuring out, hey, this thing's a monster, and I got to be able to handle it. So, with that in mind, I don't really have a lot of great switch-ins. I'll die to the next Moonblast. I got to bring in something. So I bring in Slowbro, just seeing if he'll try to switch up moves on me. He doesn't. He, yeah, Moonblast does a decent bit, and then here I'm trying to slack off, but he taunts me, so we know 2 of his moves at this point. I'm like, shoot, and then he goes for HP Fire on Escav, so he's just really running train at this point. So here, it's kind of ambiguous as to whether I can live another hit and want to take advantage of that. I do go into Miss Mag. I could have went for Poison Jab, but I also could have died there. So that was kind of the 50-50 in terms of that. But he goes for HP Fire again because that seems like the most free play for him. And here I'm just going to go for Energy Ball. And Energy Ball obviously doesn't do a lot of it. Miss Mag with this set. I mean, Icy Wind's the hardest thing to hit him. He doesn't have poison coverage, doesn't have Signal Beam, unfortunately. But yeah, obviously isn't going to take a lot from the Shaman. So no use keeping the Smag in. I'm not sure if he was... Oh wait, I'm a liar. I go for Icy Wind, and so I get a little more damage on him, and that's beautiful and all. Here, I was debating just going for Energy Ball to get off a little damage, but I do go for Shadow Ball, which sucks, because then I can't gauge what kind of set this thing is. But I go into Camel because I can take some physical hits on this, obviously. And then here, I go for Rocks. The thing is, you know, Tapu could have Defog, and if he brings it in, then it's kind of just a waste, especially since Wish is up. So I go into PZ here. Obviously take a ton of damage, and so this tells me that he is pretty offensive, actually. And here I'm able to just go for Tri Attack. It's not enough to a KO him, which is a little bit unfort. But I do go for Tri Attack again as he brings in Olay, brings the Oricorio in, which is the Ghost type one. And so I don't really know a lot about Oricorio, to be honest, but I'm going to go to Mandy and see what happens. He goes for Air Slash, doesn't do a lot, and if Air Slash doesn't do a lot, Shadow Ball won't do a lot, so I'm thinking I'm okay. But then he presses Calm Mind, and I'm like, okay, well that's fine, I didn't take that much damage, and I can just go for Knockoff this turn. And so that's what I do ultimately do as he goes for Calm Mind again. And then check this out, this man has Baton Pass, and I'm like, oh dear God, I forgot about Baton Pass. I don't know. Like, when I was playing this live, I was like, oh, that's so lame. Like, Baton Pass is lame. I don't know, passing, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan in terms of Baton Pass. I've used it before myself, but like, it's such a easy cop-out, you know? That's why I ultimately don't do it, because I could have the opportunities to do it myself, but you know what, I might have to play dirty to win a couple times. Maybe. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Baton Pass in any context, because then all of a sudden the sets that you're prepping for are just for other mons, you know? It's, tell me what you guys think about that in the comments, actually. I'd like to hear about that. I'm just not a big fan, because you're preparing for a certain team, and, you know, Baton Pass kind of changes your whole perspective of that. But anyway. So he goes into his frickin' Tapu, of course the most scary thing on the team. So I'm like, well, great, I have no way of handling this. So I go in Escav and I'm like, that's a bye. There's no reason to keep this. I'm obviously going to die to everything, and I don't outspeed him. So that goes away, and I'm like, shoot, well, I don't have a lot to take this. I have Slowbro, who is at like 88 or so at this point with Regenerator, and then I have Miss Magius, which is also able to take a hit. So I go for Energy Ball, it does a fair bit of damage, and by that I mean 22%, so it's an okay amount. And then I go for Energy Ball again, and obviously he's not dead, and so he takes me out here, and I'm like, well, great. Misty Terrain is gone. I only have really 2 plays here. I can go for Scald and then hopefully get a burn, and after Residual should be in range either before or after the Tri Attack to kill him between Slowbro and PZ. That's the hope, at least, and that's why I bring in Slowbro, and I die to the Moonblast, and that absolutely was a roll, and that sucks. So that's an L for me. So now we go directly into PZ, and this guy can literally just kill me off unless I get a crit here, because I don't have coverage for him. So he switches out. I guess thinking that I have Gigavolt Havoc. I guess that's all I could think. Like, why else would you switch out here? Because Tri-Attack doesn't kill. I was like, are you kidding me? This just gave me, it gave me some fresh air for a second. I was like, wait, there's a chance I can at least come back here. What's happening? So I go for Tri-Attack, and obviously that doesn't do anything, but now I do have the Shadow Ball coverage, so I am going to go for that. And he doesn't necessarily know what I have, so I guess that's why he does that. So now he goes into Synfernic, you know, very variable as to what he can do. But I may as well bring in my Mandy. I'm full health, and that's the best thing to handle his team. So he goes for Mach Punch for, you know, I don't know why, because I switched up moves, so he knows I'm not choiced. Obviously you'll see why later, but as why he goes for Mach Punch, or I'll tell you why later. But yeah, that's like a really weird choice on his part. So he goes for U-turn here, doesn't do much, and I'm like, okay, great, man, he's in a great position. So I go for U-turn here, I get a little bit of momentum, and I am able to finish him off with PZ. Now I do have sub, but if he had Wish and Protect, that could have been really annoying, and so that's why I didn't do that ultimately. Now he brings in friggin' Needle Queen, and I'm like, alright, interesting. Yeah, I don't have Ice Beam, and I don't have, you know, Z Tri-Attack, so I'm not going to be able to kill him. So I am going to go to Camera Up and then double into Mandy so I don't take the Ice Beam immediately. And that was the goal because theoretically he could be Life Orb here and I want to take that out. But he ultimately is not Life Orb, he is in fact Shook-a-Berry, and so I'm able to take hits just fine. And here's a little bit of a misplay. I restall a little bit, and I'm kind of anticipating him at one point to where he thinks I'm just kind of in this vortex of roosting, that he'll go into Tapu, but no, that was a bad play on my part. I prematurely U-turn out, and I'm just not at a lot of health, which does suck. Because now I'm in this position where I just have to sack Mandy. Ultimately, I could have handled this Infernape set had I kept this around. And this theoretically could have changed the rest of the game, just because of my moveset being pretty decent. Turns out he's Mach Punch, U-turn, Fire Punch, and something else, but Z fighting with Mach Punch, which does not do that much damage, and like if I was at half health, I would have been able to live this. But not the case. He goes for Z Mach, you know, probably is like base 80 or 100 or something, but he does get a crit anyway, so like whatever. Also, I thought this was hilarious, like he theoretically could have choked, but like thankfully didn't. Spoiler alert, and also, like, why would I be thankful? Anyway, so he goes for U-turn here. At this point, you know, I have PZ and Camera Up. I can't go into PZ. And here I just go for a safe Earth Power, I think. And, yeah, so that's all really, in case he went to Tapu, I guess, would have been my saving grace. But, yeah, he goes for Seed Flare. I go for Fire Blast, and I miss, and that sucks. Ultimately, there's just one less differential, but it's, like, super lame. So that'll obviously take me out, and unless I get some miracle of a crit here or something, or like, you know, he has Seed Flare only and he misses, you know, that would have been my only saving grace. As I go for Ice Beam, does not kill, does not freeze, and I die. And that is a 3-0 and a handshake, so not going super well this season. We are 1-2 now, and gonna be honest, the future is not super hot in terms of my time, in terms of dedication to this. I've never been a flaker in terms of wanting to quit a season, and I'm not going to. But other people that have all this stuff going on, you know, whatever, there's a couple dropouts and that whole thing. But I don't do that. It makes things really difficult for the team, for the season. And this is my last semester in college, though, so that is my priority right now. And unfortunately, just don't have a lot of time to focus on this as much as I'd like to. Grad school applications go into one next weekend, which is just crazy. There's a lot of classes and, you know the whole kit and caboodle. But yeah, otherwise, hopefully we can get a grip on this. Learning a lot about these teams. I've got a quirky team myself, you know, that I'm trying to get the reins on, but, you know, slowly but surely, hopefully we'll get a handle on it. But thanks y'all for watching. See you guys in the next one. Like, comment, sub, until later. Peace.